Welcome back, and you're watching Game On Air. And now I am going to introduce you my panel. It's David Gower, the left-handed genius of his generation. Welcome, sir.
Good evening, sir.
And I have Sir Isaac Vivian Alexander Richards, and it's only about his name, so no more introduction required. Good evening.
Good night to you.
Good evening, Will.
Great
Good
to see
night.
you.
No, it's only mornings and evenings in my life, no nights.
Okay.
Because my managing director, my management doesn't allow me to sleep.
Okay. You look good.
Oh, thank you very much.
A bit less sleep.
Thank you very much, sir. And we on my right is Aaqib, Javed, the former Pakistan fast bowler, and he's just trying to decipher his scorecard, which was left behind by Rashid the Latif.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Actually, he told me, he requested me to tell you that you have to decode his formulas which he has written during the course of the
it's going to
previous
take like a week to read.
And we have the former Pakistan women captain, Sana Mir, and she says that I have to mention that she wasn't only an off-spin bowler, she could bowl leg breaks.
I never said that.
What about the googlies?
I never
The
said that.
googlies, we should mention.
Vivian's having a lot of trouble with his googlies, so
Yeah.
look after him, okay?
Sir, before we start our show, your googlies reminded me of a bowler called Muhammad Nazir Jr. And you played against him. He was an off-spinner in 1980 in Pakistan.
I think he made his debut when he was around 40, yeah?
No. He made a return to Test match cricket when he was around 40.
40, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that off-spinner who used to get you out, and then he was so excited, and he went to Multan.
Nazir Jr.
Yeah, and he went to Multan, and they had planned that you are just going to be devastated, and you scored only 120 on a square turner. And that was it. And he was dropped again.
Suffering from amnesia.
Yeah, and he was dropped again.
I'm still suffering from amnesia.
Yeah, and he survived a fatal motorcycle accident. He was in coma for like
Hang on,
2.5
sorry,
months.
in English terms, how can you survive a fatal accident?
Oh, sorry. He survived a
Potentially
coma.
fatal.
Potentially fatal coma.
So that would have made medical history.
Yeah.
Okay. Since Lazarus.
Yeah.
Sorry, wrong.
So, potentially fatal accident,
Yeah.
and he survived, and he was in coma for about 2.5 months, and he's doing well now.
I know about Tossif.
Yeah, Tassif
He
was
was a
like
bad
a fast
one.
medium bowler.
Yeah, fast, yeah, you couldn't get to him.
No, he was a fast medium bowler, but he used to say that I'm an off spinner.
Okay.
Yeah, remember? He used to bowl fast off spin.
You asking me if I remember?
No.
I played against him.
Right, sir. David, he had amnesia a fraction of a second ago, and now he
Yeah,
remembers.
it's a miracle. It's cured. Okay, fine.
It wasn't
going to
finished.
have amnesia for those little guys that does that.
Okay.
The little tricky guys.
All right. So, Afghanistan actually,
Close game. Close game.
no, this only game. So, Afghanistan actually pulverized Scotland, an embarrassing 130-run defeat. So, my first question to you, David, is that now their run rate must be soaring high, and their bowlers, they displayed all their talent and the way they came off today. So, you think that they have the potential to move ahead and leaving a senior team surprised, or their batting still looks
No,
a little...
I mean, they, looking at the bowling especially,
Yeah.
they have the potential to surprise any team, because all it takes in this form of the game, as we've now seen over the last 3 days, if you lose 3 or 4 wickets in a hurry, whether it's right at the start, in the next 5 or 6 overs after that, you're done. Your momentum goes. You don't make runs. So even if they, even if they take some half a dozen overs to strike, and they get 2 or 3 quickly, that takes all the wind out of the sails. So they've got the potential there to embarrass some very good players, without being overly critical of Scotland. I mean, there's a lot of first ballers. I mean, a lot of players, when they're first looking for the first ball, go, where is that? Where is that? Oh, it's close. Oh, I've missed it. Yeah. And even good players do that. But the better players work out that plan a fraction of a second earlier. So when they come up against the quality players in this tournament, it will not be so easy. Of course, there is a difference. There's a big difference between people who play the amount of cricket Scotland do and people who are playing at the highest level all the time. But it's certainly a potent threat. And that bowling, the bowling display tonight was a very, very good display.
All right. So a score of 190 for 4. and we saw some real good smacking from the Afghan batsmen. Like, sir, there were 11 sixes and 13 fours in their innings. Yes, as David is referring to, the quality of bowling, Scotland, you can say it was mediocre. But
They still got to hit it.
the way they hit it and the way the elevation and those soaring sixes, you think that their batsmen, they can be slightly dangerous if somebody bowls in their zone.
When you look at what took place today, I think maybe it was a good toss to win by Mohammed Nabi. I guess as captain, he made a good choice in terms of his decision that he would have made in order for them to bat to accomplish such total. It was a good enough wicket. It was a wicket basically that was played on before, used before. And I think it was a good call on Mohammed's behalf to take up the challenge. I'm going to win the toss and I'm going to bat.
Yeah.
And that's why I think you had such massive total. In the end, those guys were a little bit too tricky for the Scottish batters because I think on a wearing wicket, guys like that are going to be pretty problematic for you to play.
But sir, another question that, as you mentioned, that Muhammad Nabi, he elected to bat first. But don't you think that there's a due factor always?
He didn't worry about that.
No, but the spinners, the finger spinners, don't you think that the ball is going, it will be hard to grip if it's slightly wet?
Not the match that we saw today.
Yeah.
Maybe for future matches.
Okay.
But for some reason, this guy, it was a good choice.
All right.
He didn't worry about the fact, he just wanted to know that he got some runs on board and he defended those particular runs.
Let's put it this way.
Well.
If you've got 190 on the board, even if there is dew, and there was more dew last night, I think, but even if there is dew and it's slightly trickier, slightly harder to hold the ball and spin the ball, you've still got a total that you should win with.
All right.
I think in Sharjah. Okay, there are some short boundaries. Yeah, it keeps the game open, but it was the right. Obviously, the evidence.
It was a
today
brave
shows
decision, and
it shows it's the right decision.
Yeah, it was
if
the
they
right
back their players, I mean, Zazai, who we talked about this morning,
did
what Zazai does, and he starts, from ball one pretty much. He starts, he goes, he hits, and when he hits it, it goes a long way. It's as simple as that.
One
and
of the
then
shots
same
that
thing
he
with,
hit is the longest six hit in the tournament so far. That may be better as the tournament go on.
Yeah.
But at present, he's got that title.
Also, the Universe Boss, Kieran Pollard, they can hit even bigger sixes. So let's hope.
When their time comes, we'll see.
Yeah. So if you could see those 11 sixes.
can I say Kieran Pollard's got to get to six first?
So this is the first one, and this goes. Oh, Aaqib, now I'll be coming to you, but and this is God.
That's the one I'm talking about.
That was like 101 meter.
That's gone.
That's could be the one.
And that was a little short on jump.
Gone.
Yeah.
This is gone too. Look at the massive hits.
They can.
This is the
Powerful.
This is the Afghanistan flavor. Oh,
That's
that was
a great shot.
an amazing shot.
I would have
actually.
appreciated that even in my time.
And that's gone too.
And this guy, Najib, he can hit. He can play.
I think today Najib hit 3 sixes, 5 fours. Yeah.
And I think he had about a couple of dot balls when he came in the first.
Yeah.
That's a little right-hander.
Yeah.
Before he blocked a few, and I'm saying, what's going on here after the start that they would have had?
Yeah.
But in the end, he picked it up big time.
And this probably I thought that it
One of
was
the
a
best
mishit by them, but it was the best. And where's it going, sir? If you can catch that one. So
It's almost dropping through the ceiling now.
The good part is it's still going with the same players as when I was with the UAE.
Yeah.
I've seen them playing from last 10, 12 years together. They know each other, and the kind of bowlers they have.
And they virtually brought Hamid Hassan out of the commentary box, and
I think he's at my age.
yeah, it's almost like, but a very handsome man.
Yeah, but look, surprisingly, because they are Afghan, Pathan, one race.
Yeah.
So if you look at Pakistani
Pace bowlers.
pace bowlers, 50% are coming from
Yeah.
that belt.
Yeah, KPK.
So I'm surprised that why can't they have fast bowlers?
Probably you, I just don't want to say it on air, but 2 of those, they could have played for Afghanistan, those who are now playing here. so I don't want to, so this is tongue in cheek.
But I mean, look, feel sorry for Scotland because it was too much for them. It was the pitch, dusty pitch. Najib, if you don't pick,
Mujibur Rahman.
you can't.
Did a 5 for 20 in 4 overs.
You can't survive.
Yeah.
The only thing you can survive against is if you have played a lot of cricket against him definitely on a better pitch, not like Sharjah. And this is not a World Cup pitch.
Yeah.
They need to improve the pitches. Otherwise, any team can get into the trap of these three spinners. They can surprise anyone playing in
It is,
Sharjah.
say, for any player, including the best, that first ball is something of a where is it,
Yeah.
there it is, which way is it going?
Yeah.
And if you have a memory bank, if you've got the experience of playing these guys, you recognise it more easily. If you're
Yeah.
playing them for the first time or the second time, you're still trying to find your way. So, and some of those decisions, to be fair to Scotland, were very, very close.
Yeah.
Yes, in fact, the irony is the one they didn't review was the one they'd have got back if they had reviewed, but everything else was very, very close. So it's, I mean, the 0-0-0-0 takes the stuffing out of any
And this
team.
is I think the sixth consecutive loss when Scotland and
Afghanistan
played.
Yeah.
6-0 now.
So this is what they never picked anyone.
But if one bowler is taking 5 for 20, the other is 4 for 9 in 2.2 overs, Rashid Khan. So this means, and he took 3 wickets in an over.
Yeah.
And I was virtually relaxing by the time I got to know that 9 wickets were down. So we had to rush to the studio. So it was like one-ended.
But I think they need to improve the pitches
Sana,
quality.
my question to you is that if you go through the bowling lineup of Afghanistan, they have over-dependence on Mohammad Nabi, who often uses a new ball. He's likely to share the new ball. Then they have Mujibur Rahman and they have Rashid Khan. But then comes their weaker link, that is Kareem Jannat, his brother of Asghar Afghan, the former Afghanistan captain, already in the team, Asghar Stanaksek. Don't you think that there are only 5 bowlers? Where's the 6th bowler? So if you're playing against the better team, and their fast bowlers are like Aaqib said, Hamid is well past his prime, and they are not getting the actually good fast bowlers. Naveen ul-Haq is their best so far, so they have picked him up, but he looked quite ordinary. So how do you see that if they have to get into the tournament, they'll be needing a 6th bowler?
I think they did use 6 bowlers against West Indies in the warm-ups.
Yeah.
So they will definitely have some in the squad. They, if I'm not wrong, they announced a squad of 18 instead of 15 that other teams have.
Yeah.
So they will have other bowlers in the bank. What has been really impressive again is the way the spinners have dealt with the new ball. It's not easy as a spinner to especially as a wrist spinner. As a finger spinner, you have more control, but with the kind of variations they have bowled and the kind of control they have shown, it's outstanding, and it's danger for a lot of other teams. And the way I think their batting is also, I feel like Aaqib said, I feel for Scotland because now all the teams are going to target them, and with India losing against Pakistan, they are going to target them also
They
to
also
increase
have
the run
Namibia.
rate.
They also have Namibia in the pool, so they have plenty of options.
So yeah, I mean, in that sense, it's going to be tough for Scotland, but they will have to come back and.
But the way their top order batting, okay, we believe that Hazrat al-Zazai, anything which comes under his radar, it has to go out of the park. But the better teams probably are not going to give him that much luxury of bowling in the slots.
I'll tell you something.
Yeah.
When you have such class and quality in terms of your spinners, who need paces?
So very right.
Who need paces?
Yeah.
Today, certainly, they didn't need that 6 bowler. You know, so we got to take these things into consideration. And regardless of how often you may have played against these guys are tricky.
Yeah.
And it's going to cause problem whoever they play against.
Yeah.
They're that good.
I actually, David, I asked one of the former Afghanistan stakeholders from their cricket board that why the fast bowlers, they have stopped coming. Like Aaqib was also a little skeptical about that. But what he told me was very interesting. He said Rashid Khan has destroyed our fast bowling resource because everybody now tries to bowl like Rashid or Mujib. So that is the reason that they have become the role models, and most of the blokes, they want to follow their footsteps.
It's a very good point.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what happens. People, when you see the best,
Yeah.
and when, for instance, Rashid Khan has been ranked right at the top
Yeah.
of the bowling leagues, where the bowling standings, then of course you want to be as good as the best. You want to be the best yourself in 10, 15 years' time. I mean, but if we look at, for instance, India, it's 30 years ago, they only had spin.
Yeah.
40 years ago, they only had spin.
Yeah.
And then
Sunny
came-
Gavaskar bowls 2 overs at the start of an innings, goes back to slip for the next 150 overs. They had probably one seamer who might bowl 3 overs.
Yeah.
Goes to long leg for the next 150
David,
overs.
they had one left-arm fast bowler who used to turn to slow left-arm spin, Kirsan Ghavri, in the same match.
Oh, yeah. Carson was fast medium.
Yeah, and then came
Swung it,
Kapil Dev and he changed.
Capel
the
changed it
trend.
then, but now what I'm saying now, you've got that
Sure.
era where India, I mean, they set up the MRF Academy, didn't they?
Yeah.
So they encouraged fast bowling. Dennis Lilly, who's a brilliant man to inspire fast bowlers, and gradually they've built up a resource of fast bowling. So they now have good spinners and good fast bowlers.
Yeah.
But you're right, if you've recognised the problem, because what happens where it goes sadly wrong is when you don't recognise the problem. But if you now know what the problem is in Afghanistan, because everyone wants to be Rashid Khan, we've got to find a seam bowler or find someone to put up there on the wall and say, be like this man. That's your target. Bowl 95 miles an hour.
Yeah, produce at least one.
Yeah, yeah.
The big
this
left
one-
arm, remember the left arm, the big,
Yeah.
his run-up was as long as anything else. He used to run from the pavilion
Shapur
just
does
to
run.
move.
Yeah, he used to run fast.
Yeah.
Then
And
Less
this hap-
space.
thi-
less pace. No, Hamid, this guy.
Hamid was good.
He was good.
He unfortunately
He
met with
used
an
to bowl
accident.
like 145.
Yeah.
He got
He
got injured.
actually he smashed while stopping
in
the
the
boundary. He smashed into the side screen.
Side screen.
and had
Out.
injured his knees
Out
and he
for
was out for a while.
for many years.
Well,
and-
sir, the same point as you were saying, it reinforces another argument that Pakistan used to produce fast medium bowlers. The great Fazl Mahmood was a fast medium bowler. In the 1960s, we had none. We had Intawa D'Souza's and no express fast bowler. In the 70s, early 70s, it was Sarfraz Nawaz who dominated in Salim Altaf. But then came Imran Khan, and he changed it all for Pakistan. Then we had a
terms of
battery of express.
Express?
Yeah. Then no, Imran may not be express, but he was 90,
Okay.
Well, he was
90 miles.
quick enough.
He was
Yeah,
up to 90 miles, quick enough. And then came people like Wasim, Waqas, and Muhammad Zahid and Shoaib Akhtar, and Aaqib was also part of that quartet. So this shows that role models are required. Now suddenly Pakistan has again lost that concept of express fast bowling. The Shaheen Shah Afridi is an exception that you can say that he's between 140
Well,
and
there's
140.
Harris Raff is
no,
Harris
we
is
have
quick. Harris is quick.
we have
There's,
like
the Jahanis of this world. I mean, they're good.
about 5-6 bowlers who
145.
touched 150.
50, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it happened to us in batting. Shahid
remember you
Afridi.
I remember you had Mohammed Sami as well. He
Not
used to
Yeah,
many.
no, he
crank
was
it up.
almost 160.
He used to crank it up.
Yeah,
he
Sami
was
was
pretty
almost
sharp, yeah.
160. But he went away and he was the last of the Mohicans. So then we never got, yes, now Wahab Riaz used to bowl quick.
Yeah.
Wahab did.
No, we
could
have
look-
we
We
have
kept,
fast
we,
bowlers.
we
Yeah,
kept, we kept having fast bowlers. It was the batters. Once Shahid Afridi was at the state, everyone wanted to just hit big. So there was a time where we did not.
Was Lala ever a batsman? Wasn't he a pinch hitter? So if you could see Mujib's extraordinary spell of 5 for 20. So here he comes, Kyle Kodza. He was doing well. They had scored, they scored 37 in their power play, but then this is not fair, sir.
Well,
Look at that.
I mean, these are the ones where you're looking at it first ball, and you're trying to work out
Yeah,
what's coming out the hand.
exactly. Yeah.
And there's just enough.
That was
to,
unlucky in my
yeah,
opinion.
that,
This-
that,
this
was,
is a-
that
this
could
is
have
a-
been given
yeah,
not
yeah,
out.
yeah.
Could have been given not out, in which case the review he'd have still
It was
been
in
there.
fast ball, right.
I mean, that's he's trying to give himself space. He's trying to keep the ball moving. There's a technique there which is wrong.
Yeah.
That's it's not exactly a man who's been playing there for half an hour and set. He's got his feet out the wrong way.
So that's
If you
He's
don't
given-
pick anything, then go sweeping.
Well,
Sweep.
Bring the broom.
that didn't
Yeah.
always work either. But if you're
this is
if you
like
can't
Mu-
pick it,
yeah,
you
this
can't
is like
pick it.
Mujibur Rahman, 5 for 20, 4 for 15, then 3 for 17, 3 for 38, 2 for 14, but all against Ireland in the end.
Ireland,
But let's see
Bangladesh,
a good
Scotland.
competitive team. But David, my last question before we take our first break. Like you are saying that the batsmen, they look perplexed. They were like trying to find out which way to play. But their feet were not moving. This means that they never picked up what was coming
Well,
to
I mean,
them,
yeah,
what was
that's
in
the other
front of
thing
them.
you can do. If you're first of all, if you're just sort of standing there
Yeah.
and waiting to see what happens,
Yeah.
that's not a good technique
Yeah,
necessarily.
exactly.
Unless you've really got very quick hands and you can manoeuvre the bat onto the ball. So yes, a more positive step, and that is actually when Viv will tell you, anyone will tell you, the more positive step you can take towards the ball or back from the ball to give yourself time and space, either way, is the more effective one. But it's just uncertainty. I mean, I do have some sympathy because we've all played against very good spinners. And so often, the first time you see them, you do your best. It's not necessarily good enough. The next time you see them, you have a mental picture here as to what it looks like out of the hand. You start to recognize the variations. I mean, I always use, in this country, I always use the example of Abdul Qadir, who, when we first play him, you sort of look for it, his two googlies, the flipper. I always say quite happily that he was as good as Shane Warne, but without the vocabulary.
Okay.
Abdul was too nice a man.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Superman, super guy.
Yeah.
I will endorse that.
Yeah.
Just what you said. I think Abdul was a class act. The only thing that I felt maybe didn't quite go his way.
Yeah.
Every ball that he bowled, it was a wicket-taking ball.
Yeah.
I don't think he didn't quite have the patience in order for him to sometimes see things through. Every ball, you would get an appeal. Whether he's hitting you on the head or not. You know, he would appeal.
It depends who the umpire is.
Yeah. But I think I must go for the break.
Shoulder arms.
We take a break. You came on and we'll be right back.